The star-studded roster packed with champions like LeBron, Steph, Durant, and head coach Steve Kerr knows that they've put together a very special group. He said from a standpoint of career achievement, this is probably the most decorated team since the Dream Team. If anyone knows talent, it is Steve Kerr. He played alongside MJ, Tim Duncan. He was coached by Phil Jackson, Popovich. He has seen it all. I believe him when we're talking scouting talent. He said every player on this roster is a Hall of Famer. And I think what people have to understand when we talk about this, it's not a knock on the Dream Team. We're not saying, and some people are saying, but we are not saying that this is a team better, they could beat the Dream Team. It's apples to oranges. These are different eras. This is a different time, different guys in their prime, out of their prime. We have a young generation on this team. We have stars on this team. It's a different kind of Dream Team. It's a modern Dream Team.
Yeah, listen, I do think top to bottom, it is a better roster than the Dream Team in terms of like the literal definition of what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, who's the 12th man on Team USA? Pick one. Is it Tyrese Halliburton?
Probably.
Is it Drew Holiday? Is it Devin Booker? Like, if it's Drew Holiday, he's all NBA defense. He's one of the best defensive players in the world. Yeah. If it's Tyrese Halliburton, he's one of the best stat stuffer, young, athletic, blazing fast guards in the NBA. If it's Devin Booker, it's a guy who can drop 50, 60, 70, like one of the best scorers and shooters. Those are the guys that would be in the argument for 10th, 11th, 12th man. On the Dream Team, you had a college player in Christian Laettner. Larry Bird was 35. His back was in horrendous shape. Magic in 92. He was, not too terribly far away from retiring. Michael Jordan was the face of basketball, was the face of the world. He was a global icon. He had one title. So it was, we kind of put it back on him. Well, look at what he accomplished afterwards. In terms of actual accomplishments, you add up what KD's accomplished, what Steph's accomplished, what LeBron James has accomplished. At the moment that they're on Team USA, they do have more accomplishments at the moment that they sign up for Team USA than the Dream Team did. Mm-hmm. Again, Dream Team, first time NBA players, could play internationally, mattered significantly culturally, changed the sport of basketball, changed the world in some ways. I'm not saying this is a more important team. It's not. But Steve Kerr's not wrong. Now, is Tyrese Halliburton for sure a Hall of Famer? No, not yet. But he's, 24? Is Bam for sure a Hall of Famer? No, not yet. But these guys have a decade left in their career, and they're definitely pacing to being Hall of Famers.
And then there's the factor of the evolution of the European player. I mean, the competition right now is so different than it was back for the Dream Team because you have the Giannis's, you have the Lucas, you have players like that playing for other teams in Europe. So is this team going to absolutely destroy teams like that old Dream Team did? Probably not. It'll be a little bit tighter, but I do expect them to win each and every game.
They'll win each and every game. They've got 4 straight gold medals. They only have the one loss to France last year, or the last Olympics that they ended up avenging in the gold medal game. And my bad, I flipped the order. Jordan had 2 titles and then ended up winning for the Dream Team. But still, he ended up with 6. So like all of his accomplishments were not there in the moment when they had the Dream Team. So it's just, again, it's not a knock on the Dream Team. No one is saying this team matters more impressive, more exciting to watch. No one's saying that. It's just, evolution of the sport. The reason why these Olympics are going to be more competitive than the 92 Olympics is because of the Dream Team. Like, the Dream Team is why we have a Luka and a Giannis and a Wembanyama and all of those guys. So it's just different generations, but it's natural for us to look at these star-studded rosters and play the comparison game. And this one, it's one of the most impressively constructed teams I've ever seen. They have no weaknesses.
We are in good hands. Can't wait.
Can't wait, as always. Ashley, great job with the news.
Thank you.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for... You're from Chicago. We have a lot of thoughts about this. Expectations extremely high, of course, for Caleb Williams coming into the NFL. He's been one of the most hyped rookie quarterbacks in years, and the Bears are hoping he lives up to all the talk. But Mark Schlereth thinks that we should be cautious when discussing how great Caleb will be in the NFL.
Everybody's, generational talent. Man, one of the slowest guys getting the ball out of his hand in college football. And there's a lot of, if that number one dude ain't open, just go scramble around and make a play. And it's not how the NFL works. You can't be a 50-50 on schedule, off schedule quarterback and survive in the NFL. I see the talent. There's no question about the talent. But generational talent doesn't mean generational quarterback.
I like it. I am with Schlereth here. I am in the belief that I think we need to pump the brakes when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, because remember, there was similar hype to Trevor Lawrence that this is going to be the guy that changes the franchise forever and everything's going to change. And they're kind of a mid-team. Now, you know the Bears. You've been disappointed by the Bears, I'm sure, for years and years. Do you really think that this is the guy that's going to change everything for the franchise? Does it really come down to a single quarterback?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it does.
Huh.
The Bengals were the Bungles until they got Joe Burrow. The Chiefs hadn't won a single playoff game with a quarterback that they had drafted. Not playoff game, regular season game. One game since Todd Blackledge in the 83 draft before Patrick Mahomes came around. They had won games. They had Trent Green and Joe Montana, but a quarterback that they drafted. Now, Patrick Mahomes, they're set. They're looking to be a dynasty and a three-peat and all of that. So, yes, it's a quarterback league. Now, it's a team sport. It takes coaching. It's more than that. But we've never seen a number one overall pick enter this situation. They won 7 games last year. Great players on the offensive and defensive side of the ball that are in their prime. These are not old players. They're under contract. It's a good core. Keenan Allen's the only one who, how much prime does he have left? But he's only there for 1 year. And yes, Caleb Williams played off schedule at USC, but he didn't throw a bunch of interceptions. He had too many fumbles, no question about it. This is a guy who had 1 red zone interception in 2 years at USC. This is a guy who lost 8 games at USC, and in the 8 losses, USC's defense allowed more than 30 points in all 8 of them. So he had to have that touchdown mentality. He couldn't settle for field goals. Their offensive line was bad. Their defense was atrocious. So he had to play hero ball. He has said that he craves structure and a good defense and just get the ball out of his hands to playmakers. So will there be some improv stuff? Yeah, but that's what makes Aaron Rodgers amazing. That's what makes Patrick Mahomes amazing. So this kid's ceiling is so unbelievably high that, Stink will be in a little bit later on. I'll yell at him about Caleb Williams. Yeah, he's going to be good.
You are the most hopeful Bears fan I think I've ever met.
Well, listen, I've literally never seen the Bears have a good quarterback in my life.
No.
Okay, I'm born after the 85 Bears Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. They've never had a 30-touchdown quarterback. They're the only franchise in NFL history that can claim both of those things. I was a believer in Mitch Trubisky. I was wrong. I was a believer in Justin Fields. I was wrong. I'm not going to be wrong forever. I can't stay wrong forever. Caleb's the answer. Caleb's the guy.
All right. I hope for your sake that is true. Now to the NBA. Jason Tatum finally won his criticism for not getting a ring. He followed up his championship season with a massive contract extension, and he thinks the debate on his status as an elite player is over. He said that a weight has been lifted off of his shoulders by winning the title. That's something no one can take away from him. There is always going to be debate about this guy needs a championship in order to secure this. This guy needs this. Is he the best player on the team? There's always we're in the business of opinions and debate. I don't even think half the time we fully believe what we're trying to argue here. But were we really ever saying that Jason Tatum is not elite?
I mean, obviously it depends on how far you're willing to stretch the definition of elite. But he was first team All-NBA.
Right?
There's only 5 guys who make that list. So, would I take him over Joker? No. Would I take him over Luka? No. Would I take him over Giannis? No. But then the debate starts. That's when he starts coming in. Is he the 4th best player in the league? Is he the 7th best player in the league? I do think that part of what is the case with Tatum is it took him a while to win. Not crazy, but he was competitive for a long time. He was winning playoff games. That's what Brad Stevens talked about in the championship celebration. He was like, he was getting criticism for losing in the second round of the playoffs when other guys his age were not even making the playoffs. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But also, this was a team. Boston was 1 through 5, an incredibly built team with depth. And Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP. And Porzingis and Drew, they all had, and Derek White, he got all-star votes, and he was all-NBA defense. And he's the 5th starter on the team. So it's not like if Luka would have won, people would be like, oh my God, Luka. Or when LeBron won and he led both teams in all 5 statistical categories. Tatum is a great basketball player, but he's also on a great team, so he doesn't shoulder as much of the weight. So I think people are like, if Tatum was on Dallas and Luka was on Boston, would Dallas have gotten as far with Tatum as the main guy? And I think the answer to that's probably no. And so if that's your threshold for elite, then I guess it is still a debate. But if he's a top 5 player in the league, that's good enough for me to call him elite.
No doubt about it. He's also 26 years old. I think we forget how young he is. 26-year-old winning a championship. MJ won his first at 28. LeBron, 27. The timeline is adding up here where he could easily get another one next year, maybe even another after that.
Yeah, and he's in a great situation. We'll see how long they keep this very expensive team together, but it's basically an unprecedented amount of continuity with the entire starting 5 and a couple of key reserves coming back. So they're a deserving favorite because the East is easier, the West is so tough. They are the favorite to win next year's finals, and they should be.
All right, let's talk another favorite, Team USA, going for their 5th straight